Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from sunny South Carolina. We're standing outside the Goodyear hauler here inside the NASCAR Cup Series garage. We're going to be talking to Rick Heinrich from Goodyear to get the inside scoop on the official tire of NASCAR. How many tires a year do you make for all three series?
Approximately 130,000 tires.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
There are so many moving parts during a typical NASCAR race weekend that, simple things like the tires, important things like the tires, often kind of fly under the radar and go unnoticed. With Goodyear sporting a special throwback design, this is a great opportunity to spotlight one of NASCAR's most important partners.
We have a lot of history to fall back on. You know, we've been doing this since the mid-50s. We won our first race, as a Goodyear racing division here at this track in 1959. A guy named Jim Reed. He changed tires once in a 500-mile race and lapped the field.
Goodyear wears that as a badge of honor, I imagine, back in the day.
He dominated. Yeah. I think his quote after the race: "I changed tires once just to be sure, but I don't think I needed to."
Did you guys put that up on your wall for a decade?
I have it on the wall in my office.
Race tires, are they all built in Ohio?
Built in Akron, Ohio in the Innovation Center. Same place where, in North America, all of our engineers, be it, passenger tires, medium truck tires, aviation tires, they all work in that facility. On the lower levels, that's where all the race tires are built. The only tires that are built there are race tires. NHRA drag tires, NASCAR tires, sports car tires, all in that building. These guys can literally, and we do have some of them, they can get in the elevator and they can go downstairs and they can go look at something. And they can watch. They're there.
How difficult has it been to prepare for a completely different size tire?
Yeah, you have to work. Anytime you make a change like that, the engineers from Goodyear and the engineers from BBS, which is a manufacturer of the wheel, they have to work together to make sure the marriage between the tire and the wheel is just right. There's no form of racing anywhere on the planet that has harsher operating conditions than a NASCAR race. The loads, the weight of the cars, what the car experiences on the racetrack, you just don't see that. Car contact, everything's got to be just right, and it's got to be 100% just right for everybody every week.
So is this where you mount tires that you have to mount at the track? Is this where it's done?
Yeah, this is where we do all the mounting for anything that's mounted at the racetrack.
How does Goodyear prepare, what all goes into deciding what kind of compound to bring to a respective track? Darlington's rougher, so how early in the year are you guys making those decisions and preparing for a race like this one specifically?
That's really the main job and responsibility of the engineers that we bring to the track. We've got a team of 4 or 5 engineers and engineering managers that we bring to every single race, and the big thing that they're doing is they're evaluating what's going on. They're looking, trying to plan ahead. It would be unusual for us if we race somewhere twice in a year to make a major change before a second race. But really what they're doing is they're looking, just watching tire performance and planning ahead, maybe into next year. The new generation, the Gen 7 tire combination is actually a little bit lighter, a little easier for the tire carrier to handle. The big thing, and it's in the news a lot, is we have 1 lug nut on the 18, we have 5 lug nuts on the old. It's been a big transition. It's a lot different. Loose lug nuts have always existed in the sport. We had loose lug nuts on steel wheels. They generally would create a massive vibration. We've had instances of some loose lug nuts that the teams are trying to work through on this. And, I fully expect that they're going to get past that.
What was the decision for that? Was it just wanting to look more like a street car, be more accurate, or was there at least from your perspective, your knowledge, was there a real racing decision behind making the wheels a little bigger?
I think in a certain way, really the sport evolved beyond 15-inch, and that's a fairly narrow tire for a race car. If you look at other forms of racing, you don't see many top-level race cars with a tire that narrow. So the contact batch gives the wider tire gives the teams a lot more to work with. It really enhances grip. Also from the OEM standpoint, that's more like what you're going to see on a modern Camaro or a Corvette. You're going to see a wheel that looks just like that. You're going to see a tire with a shorter sidewall, more responsive handling. I don't think you can buy a street car today that has 15-inch wheels. I don't know if anything's made with steel wheels. Everything's alloy and aluminum. One of the most important jobs for us is really equality, making sure everybody has the same thing. Yeah. Even when it comes to the date codes of the tires. These tires are all manufactured in the same date range.
I was just thinking, I'm looking around and I'm like, yeah, there's so many tires here. How do you transport all those tires?
Tractor trailer. We bring.
How many or how big?
That's a good question, because things are a little different there too. Because naturally, because the assemblies are bigger, we put a few less on a tractor trailer than we used to. And that white trailer right there that's one of the trailers that the tires arrived in. We bring 7 53-foot trailer loads of tires to a typical race like this. Not every race do we have all 3 series, so this is a big one for us. I'm not sure if we got into an 8th trailer, but we bring a lot of tires to the racetrack.
So you use hundreds and hundreds of tires a weekend. What do you do with them when you're done, when they're all scuffed up, worn out? Like, what happens? How do you dispose of them, or what happens to them next?
Everything gets recycled. You know, they get used here and they get turned into something else. If it doesn't turn into a souvenir, it's going to turn into something else.
I've seen them turned into coffee tables before.
Yeah, we've seen that. I don't think I'd want one of these smelly, dirty things in my living room, but.
A big thank you again to Rick Heinrich and to Goodyear for giving us this exclusive interview and behind the scenes look at Goodyear's at-track operations. I know I learned something new. I hope you did as well. Thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I will see you in the next video.